I believe the best investment a DP can make or a filmmaker can make is into lenses and light. And so this video is going to be more about lenses, and later on we'll talk about light. So on this note, I've invested a lot in lenses, and I'm appreciating the fact that I've invested in lenses, and I'm working on some projects and using varieties of these lenses on those projects, and I'm glad I made those choices. And if you don't know this before, I think in 2026 that we are in right now, when this video is being recorded, you can get awesome image, like quality image, from any camera that sells from about £1,500 or even £1,000 camera up until like Harry level or Sony Venice or Red Raptor kind of quality. I think the images you can get from something like shot on, let's go as low as Sony ZVE1 or Canon R6 Mark III or a Lumix X5 Mark II-X or a Nikon ZR, for example. I mean, the quality of the image you can get from those cameras, and comparing that to like Red Raptor, Arri, Alexa Mini, maybe LF, Sony Brano, Sony Venice 1 or 2, or Blackmagic or Sassini 2K. I think the quality of the image, to tell them apart on on screen, will be quite very close, like very close. But what can separate these cameras, or what can separate them apart, will most likely be your lens choice. And this is where people tend not to invest in, because the first thing people ask is, oh, what camera are you shooting on? Oh, what camera is that? Real cinematographers, real DP knows that the lenses that go on your sensor, the lenses that go on your camera, adds more texture, add more quality to your final production than just the camera body alone. Of course, don't get me wrong, the camera body is very important. But what I feel is way more important than just the camera body or camera sensor is the lenses that you put on. And talking about this, recently I've invested in the DZOFILM Catta Ace zoom lens, and I bought two sets of those, the 70 to 135 and the 35 to 180, which I always keep forgetting that is 35 to 80. I mean, it's a weird range because you often get like 24 to 70, 28 to 75 kind of range, but this is 35 to 80, which kind of covers from bit wide or sort of wide to bit of telephoto, and the other one, which is the 70 to 135. I mean, I feel like their choices wise, I would probably have gone, because if this the other one can go 35 to 80, I'd rather pick from 80 to and had that extra 10, because this is 70 to 135. I mean, I can get 70 mil on this 35 to 80. Why had it? Why go backward here again? I don't know. I feel like this could have been 80 to 145 rather, or 150 if they can push it up to that. Yeah, I'll be happy with 80 to 150 or something like that, rather than going back to 70 again, because obviously I'll appreciate more punch, and if I can get to 80 on this, there's no point for me to go back to 70, because if I need 70 mil, I'll easily just put 35 to 80 on and get that on that, rather than go on the 70 to 135. But if I need extra punch down 135, there's no way around that. So that aside, so I invested in these two lens sets, and it came with the case which has space for the 18 to 35, I believe. Might be wrong about that range, but I mean, it's the wide option that goes up onto 35. And it took me a while to make the decision to invest in them, because I have the House Prime, which if you are conversant with my page, I've done most of my cameras, and you can see one here. There's another one here. There's another one that is filming me right now. And before now, I also have the Vespid Primes, which I ended up selling some part of them to buy the House Prime. So this is the 12 millimeter. That's the only one I'm keeping from the Vespid series. And yeah, so this lens set, um, over the years, as I'm growing and I'm learning every day, I feel like when I started with more of, okay, camera is very essential. I need to get good cameras. Started buying cameras, selling them, buying again. Trying to get the best one, because so if you watch someone's video and you see that, oh, this was shot on this particular camera, you feel like, oh, you need to invest in that camera, and you start getting that kind of image, which I tried to do, but got to realize that that's not the only thing shaping your final image. It's important, obviously, cameras are important, sensors are important, but there are more things that are important in how your final image tends to look than just the sensor on your camera. And those things are, sometimes we don't put attention on them. Like, I made a video talking about um, set design, which I believe is very important in your production. Like, if you have a awful background, awful set design, awful location, I mean, except that's the look you are going for, your footage is gonna look awful as well. So, um, those are little things that, like, filmmakers, let me put it that way, or videographers don't put attention into. So as this goes by, I start to understand that it's more beyond your lens, it's more beyond your camera or your sensor. There are other stuff like lens choice and light that actually affects your quality of image more. I mean, you can light a scene very well, like professionally, and put a good cine lens or even a photo lens on, and have like a 2,000 pound camera, like a Nikon ZR. Like, I've got Nikon ZR. You can pair that with any of this lens with a good light setup, and the image will be like very high, this high. So if you're thinking as a cinematographer or as a DP or as a filmmaker, the best investment you can make is your camera, I don't think so, because you can get away with almost all of these cameras like shooting 4K, 6K, and 4K is probably a benchmark at this time. So if you can get 4K good dynamic range out of the camera, anything from like 13 stop, even 12 stop will probably be enough in these days. And if you can like expose well and light your scene well and use a good lens, light well, you probably get like one of the best image you've been looking at and thinking, oh, you need a good camera to get it. So back to my own story. So after I realized that, okay, it's not just the camera that shaped the image, then I started learning lighting, and then lens choice, and then um I've had some project in the past weeks or past months that it's more like a documentary project, documentary stroke corporate project. So I'm just filming at things evolving as things goes by. So I don't have enough time to swap my prime lens, the House Prime, which are fantastic lenses. And like I said, I will make a video about this prime lens very soon. But this video is gonna be more about lens choice generally and investing more in lenses, and particularly about this zoom from DZOFILM as well. So the costs, but they are nothing near like the high-end cinema zooms or cinema primes in the regard of the house. But I mean, for the image you get of these things, they are decent and they are very, very nice. So I invested in them, and I've been seeing the results, and I'll be happy to invest more in lenses and lights than invest more in cameras, because I've got the Red Komodo X and I've got the Blackmagic PCS 12K. So I've also got the Nikon ZR. I mean, these are enough to get. I've got 4K range up to 12K, which obviously I don't need, but I've got all of those range. What is more important to me is my lens, my light, and my set design. Um, Obviously that's not gonna be me, but where whatever set I'm working on, having a good set, good design, thinking about colors, thinking about costume, thinking about all those little stuff that to cinematographers don't really matter, but it does matter a lot. So those little stuff are more important to me nowadays. And then if you're doing like in anything spec, I think one of the things I'm learning these days is before now, because we believe that you do spec stuff just to up your game and learn as you do them. But one thing I've discovered over the years is that you should also invest in your spec project, because if you want to show your clients that this is what you can do and it looks awful, I mean, you don't want to show that to your clients. So you want to present it as one of your best projects here. So I think investing more in your spec project, if you need to rent stuff, rent them. If you need to pay actors, professional actors, if you need to pay people to work together in like different fields, do pay them. I mean, I would rather invest in a spec project than buy a very expensive camera that I use alone and um, struggle to make the image look nice. So all of this thing all together kind of like affects your final image. And like I said, today's is going to be more about the lenses. And back to the conversation of this lens. This is a very decent lens, and I bought this with my own money, and DZOFILM has no impact in wherever I say this is my choice, and I decided to go for the Catta Ace. There are other options out there, but I love this because of the range. One, the other thing is you can swap this from PL to E mount if you want, but I use PL most of the time, so it's fine to have. It came with a case, which is also decent. And then that kind of keeps my lens in good shape, good form, because after use put them back in the case, they are custom built case, so it fits well perfectly, and there's not gonna be any scratches or anything like that. Um, Image wise, I know there are videos about this that talks about image, the character you get of these lenses, but um, it's I mean it's fine for what I paid for. It's a little bit warmer compared to what you get on the House Prime, which I mean depend on the look you're going for. Sometimes those warm look actually is what I want. Sometimes I want the cooler look from the House Prime. But if you want to see a video comparing the two sets, the House and the Catta Ace, maybe you want to make a decision of either investing in primes or investing in zooms. I mean, let me know in the comments below. I can make something about that. But I've been using them for different projects and sometimes the same projects. Like I've had zoom on A cam and prime on B cam, but most of the time when I use the zooms, it will be like a single camera setup. So maybe a documentary setting or a music video or something like that. So I just want more range and the flexibility to move from one range to the other without having to swap my lens. And the other thing is this are powerful cool lens. So if you are on 70, for example, and you are going to 135, you don't need to refocus your image is always gonna be in focus. And if you're on 35, you want to go to 80, or from 80 to 35, the same thing. So the powerful car that is very nice. It's not too heavy. One of the things I was skeptical about when I wanted to get the lens is the weight, but I checked online and it was probably roughly the same weight as the House Prime, which I've been using for a long time and I'm familiar with. So I mean, it's longer than the House Prime, obviously, but weight wise, it's almost the same thing. So it's been fine. It's decent. It's well built. I mean, it's built like a tank. So those are my lens choices at the moment. So Vespid, from Vespid to the Catta Ace zoom, and then to the House Prime. So um yeah, if you are a cinematographer or you're an upcoming cinematographer like myself, and you are thinking you need a better camera to up your game or to improve your image quality, scratch that. Just invest more in your knowledge, lighting, lenses, set design, people you work with, and if you're doing anything spec, put as much as possible into your spec project. Don't just say it's your spec project and just take your camera and your lens and just shoot stuff. Invest more, plan more sets, like plan your sets, plan with the people you want to work with, and create magic, and then you can share with your prospective client or clients that you want to work with and showcase it on your page, on your website, whatever. But that's about it. If you want to make any investments, make it worth all your penny. So I'd rather invest more in lenses or light than my camera. I think at the moment my most expensive investment would be, if I put them together, would be between lens and light and then cameras. Yeah. So that's about it for today. I will see you guys in the next video.